Why do you think that they wish to gerrymander the lines in Texas, the state with more black people than any other state in the union, while simultaneously Texas is suing to get rid of the black vote? Why do you think those two are simultaneously happening? Welcome to the Think Tank, where we use creative thinking, deductive reasoning, just a pinch of common sense to draw unbiased logical conclusions. Today I'm back again with my co-host, the Honorable Dion Powell. Dion, would you like to introduce yourself?
Whip this out again. This is the Bronx Conservative Party District Leader Dion Powell back in the saddle here in the States.
Didn't the governor of Texas, I believe his name is Abbott, say previously that there was no problems with the maps? Wasn't he perfectly fine with the maps until find me five seats. Find me five beautiful seats. Didn't he previously state, even though the Democrats were already saying that the lines were drawn in a gerrymandered way in Texas, that he liked the way the lines were drawn? Didn't the entire Republican Party of Texas endorse those lines and fight to protect those lines until Trump called? Is that not the history? So now you're saying they was all lying until Trump called them? Is that your statement? That's what we're going with?
No, let's just say they were fine with the information provided, and then the president called and said, "Hey, you need to revisit this." And so far, they have. Everybody has a right to change their mind based on updated information, like with January 6th and the rest of the historical problems. But now, why does California have to do it? It's a Democratic supermajority state. Why they want to do it? Why does everybody else wants to tit for tat? That's what you got to ask now.
Well, here's the answer and the truth. It's what you just said was a little bit of a misnomer. He didn't call and say there was a problem with the numbers. What he said was, find me five seats. The reason he needs five seats is because the Republican Party is doing so dismal based on things, basically the economy, which is his strongest suit, and he's way underwater, and the original chink in the armor when he is somehow still fighting to release the Epstein files. It's utterly ridiculous what's going on. He was known to be, if not besties, very close to it with Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein and him had a problem. They stopped talking. Rumors had it from people that knew them that in 2007, when Epstein was arrested for essaying children, that Trump might have been the one who reported him, allegedly. In 2019, when he was arrested again, sentenced, well, I don't know if he was sentenced. I know that he was arrested, tried, and mysteriously ended up unalive in jail. Well, great deal of speculation is that it was done to him when the official report is it was something he did to himself. And his girlfriend got 20 years and convicted of SAing minors starting at the age of 13, SAing herself along with teaching somebody like Virginia Dufresne how to give fellatio to Epstein while rubbing on her breasts, like insane stuff. So, not to brief recap, he sends in his old attorney, who's the second command in the Department of Justice, a man who got him 34 felonies as a prime example of how not to do defensive attorney, if that's a word. 2 days later, she gets sent off after she clears his name
Excuse
to a
me.
prison that no female with her kind of conviction is allowed to go. Somebody signed off on her going there anyway. So less than a week later, what happens? He sends his troops into Washington and takes over Washington. The day after he takes over Washington, she gets permission to go out on work release so that she could be out of jail 12 hours a day. A week after she cleared Donald Trump's name, it sounds almost as if he's trying to cover something up. I think the public knows it, and that charge that caused a huge chink in his armor, and he's not beloved. I believe that's what's happening. And because of that, he had to gerrymander because people don't want to see him anymore. They don't want to vote for him. He's losing his people. And then there's things like what's going on in, I mean, what he did with Russia was crazy. I don't know if it was a distraction. We'll cover that on another episode. But what he did with Russia was insane. I can't wait to talk about that. He told Georgia when he was running the first time, find 11,000 votes. The same way he said find 5 seats. But he wasn't in power then. So they told him no. Now. And you defend January 6th, but there was a judge that released a 180-page brief about the stolen election claims. It appears that Donald Trump may not have been being honest to everyone about the election. What do you think about all of this? Oh, let me throw this in before you do. You know who Tina Peters is? So Tina Peters is a young lady who is an election denier. So she ran some election voting machines or something like that. And she cheated for Trump and got busted and sentenced to many years in prison because she cheated for Trump in the election. Missed the elections, was rigged, had people cheating for him. You know what he feels about that? He is trying to get her out of jail. It's not a federal prison, so we can't push a pin and create an automatic amnesty for her via the power of, oh, what is that magic wand he waves? I'm sorry.
Okay.
When he gets people out of jail.
Pardon?
I'm sorry.
Pardon?
That's the one. You can't
Pardon?
pardon her because she's in a state jail, but he's trying to get her moved to a place from the blue state that she's in or wherever it is to some place where they can, where he can make a phone call, release the prisoner, and get her out. That's what he's trying to do right now. Somebody who tried to cheat for him in the elections, he's trying to get them out of jail. So does this sound like somebody that is going to be working honestly in Texas? Buy me 5 seats. Like, does any of that? What is your response to all of this? I am dying to shut up now and listen.
Well, as always, just like William Barr said it best, that's just Trump being Trump. And number two, you got to keep in mind the political climate that we're in. Republicans and Democrat will do anything and everything, try their best to stay in power, historically speaking. And that's what we're seeing play out right now in front of our eyes.
Wow. So you're saying, yeah, Democrats do it too. But no one in history has ever done the things that Trump is doing. I mean, he just took away health care from 17 million people and he's building a ballroom. Like, this man is a monster.
Is he?
He don't care about nobody but him. He's
That's like
walking around with 2028. Oh, I'm not going to get into all of this now. I think we got some of this to talk about later. But, oh, by the way, if you're enjoying the content, Please like, share, subscribe, become part of the critical thinking community. We'd love to hear. We go live every Sunday, 9 p.m. Come in and join the chat. Give us your opinion. Talk to us. You feel that all of this is okay because Democrats cheat too. Did you know that the Democrats tried to pass a bill where every state would have an independent voting commission?
Okay.
Every Democrat signed it. Everyone. You know who didn't sign it?
The independents.
Not a single Republican. Not one Republican wanted it. They all wanted to be able to gerrymander while the Democrats wanted to do it fairly. And that's the history of it. And that's recent history. The and this is before the supermajorities. It had nothing to do with that. Matter of fact, the Democrats were in power when they tried to do it. So it wasn't because they was trying to protect themselves. When they were in power, they tried to make everything fair. The Republicans fought against it. They don't want fair. That's all that could possibly mean, unless you have a different outlook on it.
Well, again, just like New York, the Democrats and the Republicans both, they want things that will keep them in power, and there's no problem. When the Democrats were in power, they wanted these independent redistricting commissions in 2020 after the census. But they couldn't be trusted because come to find out after the fact, the census was done incorrectly and they only favored who? Democrat states. And who got the disadvantage? Republican states. I shared the screen last time, and that's what happened. So now
Can I ask you a
Democrats are
question?
in power. Yeah, go ahead.
How do independent redistricting, how does it work? How does it actually work? This
Well,
is something that you have an expertise in, I believe.
yes, because I actually was awarded a census grant. How about that to conduct the census? California, with their independent commission, they still are getting a lion's share of representation towards the Democrats, and Republicans aren't getting much. Texas is saying, hey, that's not fair. We need some more Republican representatives. So we have to draw the lines on the map in such a fashion that registered Republican voters would spill over more so in these little boxes to make theoretically more Republican congressional people. Understand?
It sounds like they want to just draw a line through the middle of a red part of town and create two red parts of town by drawing the line through the middle, therefore creating a seat. It sounds real simple. It don't sound like they're trying to do anything wonderful, I have to tell you. And what I don't understand, and then when you draw the lines, of course, if you draw it and edge over some of the blue and some of the blue leaks over to the red, but it's majority red, you cut out some of the blue, you get some of the red, and you cut down blue representation simultaneously. I don't know if I'm explaining it so that's easy to understand, but that's what it sounds like to me. But I digress. I'm not the one drawing maps. I do have a question. Who is responsible for the miscounted census, and why isn't that lawsuit been put into play?
Well, I don't know. Well, the thing is, it's come out to be a fact, but I don't know. That's the answer. Other than what Texas is doing right now, mid-year, to actually redraw the lines. I think that's the only thing that's the after effect that
So
states
what you're
after.
saying, hold on, I just want to be perfectly clear. So what you're saying is that Democrats cheated and had these crazy maps drawn based on illegal census, and the Republicans haven't said anything about it. They just was like, yeah, they're cheating, so we're going to cheat. But they haven't shown any real evidence and haven't tried to do anything about it. That sounds very Republican. I don't believe you. Do
Well,
you
the thing
believe
is,
you?
well, the thing is, you got to also keep in mind that if the Republicans didn't have the White House and Congress, they wouldn't be able to do much but complain and do lawsuits. But now, since they have the president, the Congress, and the Supreme Court, now they have three areas of the government in which they actually have more bite, if you know what I mean, right now.
So they have control and they're still not doing anything about the fact that these big bad blue guys were cheating. You believe that? That's your story, that they have control and they're not doing
Looks
anything
like
about it.
Texas Governor Abbott, what they're doing right now actually is just redrawing the lines. So
And the blue states are having to ask their people if it's okay to redraw the lines because the Democrats are actually talking to the people while the Republicans don't. Is that not the facts?
it depends on what the state's constitutions
Is
govern them.
So California is bringing up a special election to redraw the maps while Republicans was like, find me 5 seats. And suddenly 5 seats appear. The Democrats have to vote on it. So the
In
people have a say
California, because
so.
California state law has it regulated as such, where they could put it
So
on the
like
ballot.
other blue
Texas
states
doesn't
like
have it.
New York, New Jersey, like blue states like Illinois, these are what blue states do. Red states just try and draw more and more blue and black people, blue voters and black people out, while blue states actually have independent committees specializing in making sure that such cheating doesn't happen, and it's in such a large portion that they literally have to vote in order to be able to change the maps and try and match what the Republicans do willy nilly. Is that not what's going on? Do you see something
That's not
else?
what's going on at all. This is state by state basis on how they regulate their redistricting and reapportionment. California, during the mid decade, they actually have to put it on the ballot in some sort of referendum, I believe. Whereas Texas, they can just go to the state legislature and make them vote on it. Just like New York. New York could actually call the New York State Legislature, State Senate, and New York State Assembly together, and they have a Democrat supermajority. They could vote and say, hey, we want to do this now. That's how it works. Or people like California, they can actually put it on their ballot and let the voters decide. So it's a state by
Are
state
you
basis,
saying that New York can just do the same things as Texas?
pretty much.
Then why are they saying that they can't?
Well, because definitely that process, I believe, already took place. And now how can I say
So
it?
you're saying they can't.
Not right now, no.
Okay, so Republicans have
Not
no
essential.
oversight while the blue states do.
No, it depends on
Period.
state by state basis, Leo. For example, they're not in session right now in New York. And freaking Texas, they are. You see what I'm saying? Their legislature is in session. Whatever political calendar, governmental calendar in Texas is different from New York. That's a fact. Now, when they come back into session in January, I think, for the New York State calendar, Hochul's already trying to beat the drum to do this. Understand? So that's
But
why
aren't they, don't, doesn't New York have to vote the same way as California does?
no, because remember, election cycles are state by state regulated, meaning that
So what does the independent committee do?
the independent committee again is supposed to redraw the lines based off the census data in a way that's supposed to be fair politically to appease all parties.
So then they have oversight. New York State has oversight while Texas does not. Yes? No?
I don't think so. That process already happened, Leo. So I'm telling you. That's why
So
this
you're
is
saying New York State doesn't have oversight. The independent committee is not an oversight committee. It's not their job.
okay. They are overruled by the legislature. That's what I'm trying to tell you. We voted in New York 15 years ago when Cuomo was in charge to have an independent committee redraw these lines. We passed it. Yes, the voters want this. It kicked in after the 2020 census. Fine. The New York State Democrats didn't like it. So they went back to the legislature and voted to overturn it. They were in court to fight this and drive the lines they wanted. Understand? That's what happened. And that's why these independent commissions mean nothing if the majority or supermajority political party in power don't agree. And they just change the rules.
So they can change the rules, but the rules as they stand right now is the largest blue states have commissions that have oversight over redrawing of the lines, while the largest blue states, such as Florida, Texas, the two largest states in the country, do not. Well, Texas is second largest. California is actually the largest. I don't remember what Florida falls. It's like five. But so while red states don't have rules, blue states have oversight. Is that
Everybody has rules, but it's a state by state basis, depending on what the state's laws say and regulations. So that's it.
that's true? But generally speaking, is it not a fact that most blue states have oversight while most red states do not?
It depends on what you mean by oversight. Who's oversight?
Oversight committees, redistricting,
It
oversight committees for
depends.
redistricting.
It's a state by state basis. I can't say. That's my answer.
You refuse to comment on that and get caught in that bubble? I
I
ain't mad at
can't
that.
say because it's state by state basis. How many months can you have an abortion in Florida versus New York. I don't know. All I know is that abortion is illegal in the Dominican Republic.
Well, let's see.
Must
Kansas,
have.
because that's those are the stats. Oh wow, look at this. Look at this. Wow. Democrat state legislators control the drawing of congressional districts in 7 states, whose 49 districts make up 11% of the seats in the House. So it's 11% versus 41%. Republicans are cheating and Democrats are not.
Stop
41%
that
of the
second
House
reading.
seats were redistricted by Republicans, 11% of Democrats. Democrats, there's a couple of states that did it, 11%, while almost half of the Republican ones were done. You cannot use that argument anymore. Numbers are right here. And I guess that's the end of that. I didn't know those numbers. I literally just looked it up. But I did know that it was Republicans cheating, Democrats not. But now the numbers show.
Sad.
You just looked at the numbers. You just looked at the numbers.
But we're not sure what those numbers mean, Leo, because you're obscuring it, just glancing at first glance.
I'm obscuring it I read it. 11% of Democratic states have biased lines, and 41% of Republicans do. That's almost half of the Republican states cheating. Well, there's a few Democrat states that do it as well. You're right. There are a few, 11%, but 41%, almost half the Republican states are cheating. Those are the numbers. And that's it. There's nothing really. I mean, the judge released a 180-page brief that Trump's wrong about the election being stolen in 2020. So when he stormed the Capitol on January 6th, it was under false pretenses. It says paper ballots debate. Many countries certify results same night. Trump claims delay is fraud. Yeah, I believe I covered that. Trump lying again. Tina Peters, he's trying to pop somebody out of jail for cheating for him. This is the Trump regime.